proper parenting. And last week we discussed so much so that I had to look inwards on the way I parented my children. Was it the proper way, or it was semi-proper, or it was the ideal? But as we go on, heartwarming on this topic, everyone, all of us, whether you're a new parent, an old one, or grandparent like me, will have a lot to learn. God will give us the heart to receive every word. So that we can be better parents unto Him in Jesus' name. Once again, I say welcome, and please be ready to talk. Be ready to express your mind concerning secrets of proper parenting. Today in the world, the e-learning has taken over. But the issue now is e-learning or e-parenting. Can we merge the two? Or the e-parenting is totally different from e-learning? Today, most young parents prefer to do the electronic parenting, which is totally different from how we were parented. Because when we look at the difference between how we were brought up, how we were parenting, and what is happening now, there's a marked difference. But the question is, are we getting the desired results? Is e-parenting ideal? Or do we go back to the old school way of parenting our children? These are the issues we're going to contend with this evening. And I believe that we all have good answers, creative answers, inspiring answers to give so that we'll all learn at the end of the day. You're welcome once again.
Thank you so much. Before we go on, I want to say that e-parenting, e-learning, number one, the two are same. You will say learning, by electronics. You will say parenting by electronics. Okay? The two. Because what you are learning is parenting, and the other one is e-parenting. So they mean the same thing.
Yes,
so
I know.
That's that. Then number two, whether the traditional or the modern one, which is E, as we were saying, if the content of the parenting are the same, it's still the same. So we're only saying that with the e-parenting or e-learning or the other, it's just that we now have a new system of receiving it, other than waiting for grandma or mama Alpha to come from
The village to teachers.
So, I agree with you. Like Honorable Kunle Alamutu explained last week, that the two are almost similar, but there's a thin line between the two.
So what's that thin line?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to explain. The way I understand it is when we're talking of learning, it's very broad, and your motive for learning makes a difference. For example, my son educated himself through e-learning when he was learning about arts on the YouTube. You understand? In order for him to substitute what the teacher has taught him in the class. So that is e-learning. His more motive is to learn about arts, not parenting. But I know there's some program. What I mean, there's some, like call it module or something.
Yeah, module.
Yes, that talks about parenting, e-parenting, especially for e-parenting, telling you this is what to do, this is what to do, this is not what to do. Some are telling you, like he said last week. He said some will tell there's some what do you call these robots that will tell you, oh, you have committed a sin. The sin you have committed today is 26, blah blah blah, and all that. Now, what I'm trying to say is that e-parent is when parents substitute digital, electronic, to substitute what they should have done, teaching the children what they should have done. But e-learning is when you, maybe you are not thinking of parenting as well. You are thinking you want to update yourself in one field or the other. Maybe like in Open University now, they do e-learning. And so they can connect to any of their database and then to study a particular subject. That's how to see that is. I don't know if I'm making
okay, I understand what you're saying.
Yes.
But to me, I want us to differentiate between e-parenting and the generalized e-learning.
Yeah.
You know, and like I said, when I started, our parents parented us. They didn't do e-parenting. You know, so we're differentiating between how our parents parented us.
Yeah.
What is being done now, but especially the younger parents, and what it should be. Are we going to substitute our old time way of parenting? Are we substituting it with e-parenting, which is better?
No, what I said and let's look at this very carefully. E-parenting is you are parenting by the reason of receiving your
You're learning from electronics.
Yes.
Yes.
If the content of that is still the same with the content of the traditional, there's nothing wrong about that. The e-parenting today enables those who are parenting to, they can receive more information from near and far away. So content matter, not just whether it is e-parenting or the traditional way of parenting. So that's
Okay, so we're talking about parenting.
Yes.
If we talk of cooking, there are many electronic cooking, right? And the traditional way of cooking. Would you say that if I want to learn how to cook egusi soup, and she knows how to cook it, and I say, come teach me how to cook egusi soup, and she comes to my kitchen, I will put the pot on the fire, drop the onions and all. I believe I will learn more. I will know to do it better than when I'm watching or listening to somebody illustrating. The person will be right.
No, we're talking of processing. Yes.
So I want us to understand this thing.
Yes. The process is the same thing, from what she's going to
the process can be the same thing. And then you don't
whoever is on the other thing, whoever is online also, if she's doing the same thing, I mean it's not a medium.
Okay. Yes, Daddy, you are very correct, but I want to look at it from this way.
So I want us all to understand
Because I've seen
the
yes.
difference.
I want to look at it from this way. We're saying natural parenting.
Yes.
It is natural parenting or traditional parenting.
Or
electronic parenting.
Yes.
I want to see it this way. That electronic parenting is mechanical. Electronic parenting is mechanical. It is programmed. It has no feeling, no emotion attached to it. When we're talking of natural parenting, you discover that let's say the son or the parents, you see, and there's this natural, there's something that transpires, there's a connection between the two of you. You can see when your father or your mother can speak through just blinking the eye. It is parenting. You be able to understand that, you see your father's face, you see your mother's face, you get the feeling. You know, instead of looking at a machine and he's telling you, do this, do this. We're not saying that we're not condemning electronic parenting outrightly. But we are saying that it should not be substituted.
No, but what I'm saying, understand that computer is baggage in, baggage out. Yes, what to speak it to the computer,
It's what you
yes,
mentioned.
it's what you still bring out. So, what is it?
Oh, as a feeling.
Natural feeling. No, the computer has not manufactured that parenting by itself. The computer that is giving out the
Somebody has programmed.
yes, it's programmed.
But we are talking about
And whoever did the programming must have failed. It's not a matter of
that is
the process has been recorded, for human consumption. Yes, and it's programmed and it can be used as long as you want it. The mama or the papa or the mama or the other people you are expecting, something may happen. Yes, you have that recorded and you continue it on and
we're talking about
But not go for others. That person that installed that in that thing might work for that person, but the person that is watching might not work.
okay.
The love connecting I and she is different from the love connecting from that one. Like this is parenting. My children, for example, in the class.
yes.
If I spank them, I know the way to bring them back.
Mm-hmm.
But now they're trying to tell you if a child doesn't do this, but you won't tell him what to do to bring them back.
So let the programming. If you go to the program will tell you.
It's necessary. You can't say it's necessary.
Okay, let's take you one after the other. Yes.
Okay, to portray that is
Yes.
excuse me, my throat is okay. To portray that is point, he said something that is programmed.
Yes.
So somebody did it.
Yes.
So the person, last week I made mention of something. They call it Android God. Yes. So it's emotional, talks like God, acts like God, do everything like God.
But it's not good.
He's not God.
Yeah.
I'm just portraying at this point. So what that is trying to say is that whether it's natural parenting or e-parenting, the content is what matters. Not really, even a natural parent can be very wrong.
Yes.
Yes.
And of course, and e-parenting too can be very, very wrong. So what that is trying to say is that the blueprint of parenting is not from whether it's natural or from e-learning.
All right.
The blueprint of parenting is from God. So God is the source of parenting because the person handling the computer right now is a human being that is bound to make mistakes.
Yes.
And we doing the natural parenting, we are also human beings
Yes.
that we can make mistakes.
Yes.
The only thing that differentiates
Yes.
is that the natural parenting, you can be corrected if the person is of God. Yes, God can correct the person. Okay, this thing you did is actually wrong. You shouldn't have done it like
But for
that.
e-parenting,
But if parenting is programmed like that, yes. So that's what that is trying to say, that
back to
the content is what matters, not whether the e-parenting or the natural parenting.
you have said it all, you are correct. But when we want to say what you're saying now, that the natural one, you can be corrected and you take the correction and you make amendments. But the other one,
Adjustment.
yes, quick adjustment. But the other one is programmed. It's programmed. So is that the ideal? So which one? Which is the ideal?
Yes.
But let me just quickly say something before you add. One of our daughters in the faith, she traveled abroad to take care of her daughter. Just gave birth to twins, and she went. The children are grown now. She told us herself she went to take care of the children, and in the course of having to bathe the children and all, she said her daughter just brought a book. I was saying, "Mommy, do it like this. Mommy, this is how you do it. Don't touch my baby like that. This is how they say we should do it. That is how they say we should do it." This mother was complaining. And she said to us, it got to a point I got tired because she believed more in the e-parenting than the physical parenting, you know. And so she didn't want to be offended. She just thought that her time was up at some point, that she had to leave and go back to Nigeria because she didn't know how to do it anymore. Meanwhile, she brought up all her children alone because she didn't have a mother. She said during that period, if the doctor says, if she says, let us do it this way, the doctor will say, no, let me go and check. Let me go and check the machine. No, mommy, they say we shouldn't do this too. The machine can be correct to a certain extent, you know, but not in all things. Just like we said, even in the physical one, we can be wrong and we can be right, you know. But what is the ideal? Should we continue with e-parenting or learn the natural principles of proper parenting?
Both.
That's
Okay.
Both.
Now, the ideal. No, to me, the ideal. We're talking of ideal. We're talking of near perfection, if not perfection.
Yeah.
We're talking of how it should, how it has been, and how it should be. To me, I believe that we are gradually shifting our responsibility as parents to machine, which can never be natural. And before you know, parents will become so lazy that their children will be so far from them. We are shifting. In other words, we are saying instead of human being, let it be mechanical. Let it be machine.
No, we're not talking of robots doing the work.
Yes.
We're talking of the individual mother or father following a process of the recorded process.
I think maybe we're getting it.
so what do you have to say? Let's get it. Yes.
Yes.
Thank God. We are all blessed by God this evening. What I think is that once you go pursue that is hand to hand. What I mean is that the natural parenting should continue while the e-parenting also should continue. Why? Because a lot of parents have been out of, parenting their children. But when they see the program online, that will struck them or strike them to be able to listen to what is going on. That is why
And what we're doing now.
this e-parenting should continue. Both of them should go hand to hand.
Hand in hand.
Yes. That's my point.
That's a good point.
That's what I'm saying. Both.
Whether e-parenting or natural parenting, they should go side by side.
The important thing is getting the right method.
So we are saying that e-parenting,
E-learning actually.
we're seeking for knowledge.
Yes.
You understand? It's like we're seeking for knowledge because we need to get the clear picture of that so that we don't mix it together. What we're doing, we are natural, and we're here, we're discussing, and we're using the media, isn't it? E-media, whatever, to picture so that people will see us. Oh, that's what we're talking about. So of course, the parents are sitting there watching us, they're learning. You get what I'm saying? But the situation where you have programs on a 6-step, and you just press it, start telling you this and this, and they tell you what to do, and that's what I'm looking at.
But you know that
That's
because
what
all
I'm
of
looking
it e-parenting
It is
now,
completely different.
we're not condemning it completely.
Yes.
We're not even condemning it
At all.
Then the natural one, we shouldn't even condemn at all. But we're now saying that both are not perfect. Isn't it? Both are not perfect. Because, okay, let's say I read something on the internet about, the Europeans, they're always doing research. And they just found out that African children that were used to being backed, they were more naturally attached, more well behaved, more, than the children that were just, they went, they just put them on they now want to introduce it to, I mean, they're doing research now that children should be put behind instead of just strapping them on your chest, you know. So we're saying now that e-parenting and e-learning, the world is going digital. The whole world is going digital. But are you now going to take everything that you see on the internet as correct?
That's the point now.
How can you take it as everything as correct? Where do we draw the line? Where do we say no? We can't do it this way. This is the way. It was not so from the beginning. This is the way. Because the word of God still must come to play, even in our proper parenting skills that we're talking about. You know, like my daughter said, the e-parenting thing program, it could usually have been programmed by an atheist who does not believe in many things that God is saying we should do in His Word. So I think the major thing is for us to know when to draw the line, when to say no, I don't believe this. This is better for me or better for us, you know, so that we don't just go into e-learning, hook, line, and sinker, and think that's the best way. I don't know whether I'm communicating.
Yeah. Well,
That is what
that's
I think.
that. Where when we look at it very closely again,
Yes, sir.
are we talking of the parenting we're talking about? Will differ from state to state. Are we talking of nursing babies, parenting that is nursing little babies, you know, taking care of them, that is dressing them, feeding them, and
Teaching them.
yeah,
Nurturing them.
so
Nurturing
yes,
them.
when we're not
Nursing them.
the other side of parenting, another grade of parenting is when you are not beginning to teach on values.
That's why the Bible says, that's why the Holy Book comes in. Train your child in the way he should go. And when he grows, he will not depart. So the much training we give to our children at infancy, toddlerhood, pre-teenage, adolescent, and all, until they now discover themselves that they can stand on their own, it will still fall back to the nursing, the nurturing that you have given to them. That's when, even when they read anything on the internet, e-learning now, they know what is right from wrong.
So we are coming to another level now.
That's another level.
Another level in the sense that you godly parenting definitely will be different from ordinary parenting by mind. Godly parenting tells you those things that are good for the child. Okay? But
Those secret things
those secret
that we need
things
to learn, that we
yes,
can put in the lives
those
of our
secret things that will
children.
be revealed
Yes.
because the word of God says that those things that are revealed, they belong to us.
Yes.
So the revealed secrets, you know, by the maker of man, by the God of the children, you know, will actually help us to guide them in the right way, you know. So which is quite even still different from whether we're talking of natural by traditional people, you know.
Yes.
Maybe
Yes.
if our parents may be wrong in many ways too.
Yes,
If
of
they
course.
don't follow the process, the blueprint of God, you know, for parenting. So they will just not to say, well, in our culture, this is the way we. So when a little boy is growing up, or a little girl, this is the way. They will not be. They will be talking traditionally. Okay. So this is why I'm saying that we are moving to another level of whether we're talking of godly parenting or man way of parenting. Because we're talking of values that will help the children to stand well as in life and be well behaved, you know, be, you know, having attitudes that will help them to to stand well in society. So that's another.
So,
But the ones I thought we were talking about before is maybe how to they handle the little child, at birth, at infancy.
No, when we talk of parenting, parenting is for life.
For life.
It's for life. It's not
life.
And that's
So
what
when
I'm
you
saying,
take up,
stages.
when you take up a child, a baby, you begin to train until he or she grows up. I'm still training my children even in their marriage homes.
Yeah, I know.
You know, I'm still training them because maybe when they were growing up, there are certain things I needed to put in them that I didn't know about, that I couldn't put in them at that time. So now that I know, I still call them to say, this is it and this is not it. You know. So training is for life, parenting is for life, but what we are talking about now are the secrets of proper parenting, which, like I said, there are many things that I was supposed to have known when I was training my children that I didn't know. But now that I know some of them, as I begin to learn, I teach them.
Okay, now I just want to quickly draw a line from what we are saying now, from nursing and nurture. When we are nursing a child,
Yes.
a little child, like a toddler, is different now from nurturing, a child in his or growing up, so that the character can be formed in him or her.
Yes, that is still brings us back
So
to the secrets of knowing what to do.
Please, are you getting what we are saying?
We're talking of secrets now. We're talking of principles.
There's
We're
nothing.
talking of directives
Yes.
on how to
Yes.
train, how to parent our
Directives
children.
at nursing, directives at nurturing. But
No, we want to separate it now.
yes. Okay, I want to separate.
Okay, what please, I think for us to be on the same level, what's the difference between nursing and nurturing? I think we should.
So okay.
It's nursing.
But that's very, very important.
Because we can, to me now, I don't want to get confused. What is nursing? What is nurturing? What's the difference?
Okay.
Nursing, sorry.
You
Nursing
nurture
is
yourself
when,
and you nurse it.
nursing is for infancy. And the babies. When you are nursing babies. When you are nursing is a baby stage. Then nurturing is when we begin to know something. And get them closely, they can speak, that's when you start nurturing them, to grow, to adult. That's how I understand.
I think what you're talking about now is semantics.
No semantics, man. No semantics. This is no semantics. But process. Nothing. Okay, for example, many years ago, when my wife, she went on a course abroad, and the lady who came to look after our first son at that time, the little man at that time will not just eat. No, however the food
Was there.
no, she will not just. Yet she needed to go for that course. So this lady who came to help could not just see the reason why they should be, getting. I'm not just putting that. What's
Automatic.
Yeah, you must eat.
That was what she knew to
Yes,
do.
that was nothing. That is which is different from nurturing. Nurturing,
And that's what the child did there.
amen. So what I'm trying to say is nothing. The process may be the same thing, naturally. But nurturing is where the work is, when the child is coming up. Okay. The child is surviving.
So that they can say that the secret of proper parenting is nursing and nurturing. Even we often say that parenting starts when the woman is pregnant. And you can speak to the baby, and the baby can hear.
Yeah, you start with it.
Well, I've said in the seminar before that parenting of a child, starts at courtship.
When you plan.
Okay.
So
Okay,
it was discussed.
Yes.
It was big seminar.
So let's begin to round
Okay, so what we're saying now, let's get it clear,
Yeah.
is that it's the combination of two that matters. Because electronic, can you start from courtship? Can you start from anything from courtship?
No.
Can you nurture the baby in the womb?
No.
So it has to be so we are saying
No.
She said it can.
okay.
It can, yes.
Yes, it can. What we are doing now is event, right? So they will seek information as we have this particular information that we are trying to share with the whole world so that a lot of things can change about people, yes, about people, about this country, and not particularly about this country. That is the same way some people have passion for courtship. So you mean that process which they too talk about, okay, you groom your child even before you even start saying I do this, that. Is that not parenting? Is that not e-learning? So they can. So to buttress Daddy's point, he said that nursing and nurturing are two processes of parenting. Yes. For example, nursing is different from nurturing. Yes. For example, you have a flower. You want to groom a flower. You start from nursery. You get a nursery bed that you want to groom the flower. You plant your seed. That is nursing. But immediately the flower starts growing, you are not nursing it again. You are nurturing. Yes. So you add water. You do this. So that's the two process. That's different.
So, in other words, for us to have the deep knowledge of proper parenting, we have to apply the principle of nursing and nurturing. And that will give us wholesomeness in parenting. We have learned a lot this evening. And I know that we haven't understood it completely. And this is the whole, that's the necessity of this whole thing we're doing. That we'll come together to want to reason together, to learn from each other on different subject matters.
That will help our
That will help our families, that will help our marriages, that will help our children, and invariably help our nation at large. So next week will be another time to come together, to reason together. And we're still going to talk on secrets of parenting, of proper parenting. And I know that before then, we must all go back to get more information so that we're speaking to the world, so that the world can believe what and learn from what we are talking about. It's been nice talking about these things, and I have learned a lot.
I have.
I have learned, at least today, we now know that nursing and nurturing must work together for us to have proper parenting. God bless you all for coming.
Thank you.